So how much money should you spend on a bottle of liquor? If you're a home bartender and you've asked yourself this question, then this is the correct video for you. My name's Robin Virpin. I'm a full-time medical doctor and I've been a home bartender for over 5 years now. During that time, I've learned how to make over 100 different cocktails and I've thrown over 50 cocktail parties. And I teach other busy professionals how to make cocktails at home. And this is a very important question that not only is it a question that I get asked quite a bit now that I'm somebody who teaches other people how to become home bartenders, it's also a question that I had multiple times when I was first starting this home bartending journey back in the middle of 2020. And like with most things in home bartending, there is really that sweet spot in the middle. The Goldilocks principle is something that definitely applies here. You don't want to be spending too little on the bottles of liquor that you're using, because then you don't have enough quality in the ingredients. And when you're serving drinks, not only to yourself, but also to other people, and you're having people over in your home, friends and family and other loved ones, you want to make a quality drink for them. You can't be using bottles and ingredients that are too cheap and too low quality. On the other end, you don't want to be going into too high quality of a range, because as a home bartender, you're going to be serving these liquors in cocktails and mixed drinks. That means you're going to be mixing the alcohol with other alcohol, with liqueurs, with bitters, with sugar and syrups, with fruit juices and sodas and all these other different types of ingredients. So you're not going to be tasting any of these ingredients really on their own. So it's really no point in getting the super high quality stuff, because those high quality liquors, like really nice scotches, really nice bourbons, for example, really nice tequilas, those are meant to be drank on their own. So when you don't go into that too high quality range, you don't want to go into the too low quality range. You really have that middle range. That's the sweet spot that all of my workhorse spirits are in, and all of the workhorse spirits that I think you guys should buy, they're all fall in that sweet spot price range. And in terms of the year 2025, and in terms of US dollars, that sweet spot price range is going to be somewhere between $20 US and $35 US. And just to prove that point, I actually have 5 of my workhorse spirits right here in 5 different categories. So that's going to be tequila with the Terramana right here, rye whiskey with the Rittenhouse rye. Then over here, I have gin with the Beefeater gin, then white rum with Florida Cognac, and then vodka with Tito's. These are 5 of my most important workhorse spirits, and they all fall in that range of $20 to $35. And as you can see, this is 5 different types of core spirits. The only one that I don't actually have with me right now is cognac or brandy. But there are tons of bottles of cognac, even VSOP cognac, that are somewhere in that 30 to 35 range. So that still falls in that category. I would say bourbon, tequila, and cognac are going to be in the higher end of that 20 to 35 range. And then rum, vodka, gin, and even some types of Blanco tequila. Blanco tequila really goes in that whole range. Some of them are also in that lower to middle part of that range. But really all of the 6 core spirits, which are, just to summarize, those are going to be vodka, gin, rum, whiskey, which can be either rye or bourbon, or both if you want to get into both. Then tequila will be the 5th one, and then finally brandy or cognac will be the 6th one. All 6 of those core spirits can be found in that price range of $20 to $35, where you can still get a quality bottle. And these are just some of my recommendations. Over the course of my YouTube journey, I'll be demonstrating more videos where I show even more of my workhorse spirits, so that you guys can learn more about it too. And if you really have any questions about which spirits you should buy, then definitely mention those in the comments, and I'll give you some recommendations. For example, if you live in a certain part of the country, or you live outside of the US and you don't have access to some of these brands, then go ahead and comment that. I can give you a few other examples and things that I've used during my own home bartending journey over these past 5 years. And just another caveat for this video, this mainly applies to the core spirits, which are those 6. For some of the liqueurs and other ingredients, those you're oftentimes more limited by brand. For example, back there on my right, I have Campari. And Campari, there is only one brand that makes it, and it is a very great ingredient. It's used in a number of quality classic cocktails, including some of my favorites like the Negroni and the Boulevardier. And it's just an important thing to have if you're really wanting to get into classic cocktails. but they're the only brand that makes it, and oftentimes, usually it'll fall above that price range. I believe the bottle that I have there, that's a 750 ml, and I believe that was in the higher 30s in terms of the price. But it is also available in a smaller 375 ml bottle. So when you're going for these more specialty liqueurs, you may not be able to get in that sweet spot price range, but you can oftentimes get a smaller bottle because they're not going to be using it. They're not going to be as important and not used in as many drinks. So you can get the smaller size if you're feeling more comfortable with that. And that smaller size will fit probably on the lower end of that range, maybe even in the high teens in terms of the price. Like, for example, like the 375 ml bottle. And there are also tons of other ingredients, and not all of them fall in that range, but definitely this video is focused just on liquors, which are going to be those core six: vodka, gin, rum, tequila, whiskey, and cognac or brandy. And those six liquors can be found definitely in that price range, $20 to $35. That's where you want to aim, because if you go too low, then you're not getting enough quality in the ingredient that you're going to be using in your cocktails that you're going to be serving to other people. And when you go above that price range, that's all essentially, it's like diminishing returns. And also the other thing is the brands and the bottles of liquor that are in that price range, they're actually meant to be enjoyed on their own. They're meant to be drank either just neat, which means it's just completely on its own, or maybe with just a large block of ice or a couple smaller cubes of ice. So all you have is the ice for the dilution and for the chill. So those are not meant to be really served in a cocktail, because if you have a really nice bottle of, let's say you have a really nice bottle of bourbon, $120, something like that, and you're using it in a whiskey sour, you're really going to lose you're not going to be able to really appreciate the quality of that bourbon, because you're combining it with simple syrup and you're combining it with lemon juice, and you're still going to get a great whiskey sour, but you're not going to really appreciate the quality of that bourbon. Whereas if you use my workhorse spirit bourbon, which is Four Roses, you can get a standard bottle of Four Roses for about $25 the last time I checked. You can use that, and it will still give you a quality whiskey sour. Maybe not as high of a quality, but with the diminishing returns, this is really that sweet spot. So when you're going out there, next time you go to the liquor store and you're looking to buy some bottles for the core spirits, and you're looking to get your own workhorse spirits, make sure that they're in that price. That's the price range you really want to look for. $20, $20 US dollars up to $35 US dollars. For my own experience, and also based on the bottles that I have here, these are the bottles that I personally use in my home bar that I use for videos on this channel. They're all fall in that range of $20 to $35 US dollars. That's where really that sweet spot is, especially for, not only for beginner home bartenders, but even myself. I'm an advanced home bartender. I've been doing this for over 5 years. I still mainly choose bottles that are in that price range, $20 US dollars to $35 US dollars. So anyways, that's all I have for this video. If you found that advice helpful, please subscribe to the channel. I really like to do two types of videos on this channel. One will be like this type of video where I give general advice, tips and tricks, share stories from my own home bartending journey and things like that, which I feel will help you guys all become even better home bartenders. And the second style of video will be tutorials on specific cocktails. So if any of that sounds good, please subscribe to the channel. Anyways, that's all I have for today's video. Thank you. Cheers.